So pick a poster, pick one that you know that you can do good things with. Like, don't do that one. Like, just, yeah, you know what I mean? You'll work it out from the samples and what works and what doesn't. But this is kind of some tricks in this thing. So if I want this one, I can see straight away that would work really cool. So I'm just gonna. There's a size on the brief, but it doesn't matter as long as it's not too small and not too big. So I'm gonna right click on that one. So, well, these are good things. These are just weird little Photoshop tips. So if I copy that one, if I go into Photoshop, if I say new document, if I say new in Photoshop, and if I just say clipboard, it'll open a Photoshop file the size of what was on the clipboard. So if I go, leave all that at the same resolution, but if you do that, and if that says like 20 by 30, you know your image is too small. But that's a decent size. So if I go create, and if I just go paste, that will just paste it in. So I want these girls to come onto the screen bits at a time. I am recording, it's all go. Thanks, Amanda. All good. So this one, I'm not recording you guys, so don't worry about it. It's just this screen, so there's no you in it. Right, so this is it. I just want to do some really basic Photoshop stuff here. The first thing you do before you start playing around with anything, just drag it down, lock it off, and just make a copy and just save it, because the chances that you stuff things up is so high. It happens all the time. Right, so I want all these things. So I know that there's a good thing with this one. So I want Ocean's 8 to come across. So I'm going to get all of these guys. So I'm just going to select that as close as I can. And so on this layer, remember Command J, and what Command J does is it copies that onto its own layer. So I'm going to go to this one and just call that, say, title, and just get in the habit of naming layers as you go. So what I now want to do is I want to get rid of what's behind that, because I want that to appear. So what we might do is we might merge some bits and pieces through it, but I'll come back to that one. Like old Miss Sandra Bullock here. I want her to come on, so that's whatever her name is. So this is a bit of a trick. This is kind of clever. If you grab a section of this, just say if I grab a section of her there, if I go Command T, which is scale, if I drag that out, remember, it's weird, the new Photoshop. It's opposite to Illustrator. It's really frustrating. But if I hold Shift down and if I scale that out, it scales out and it just looks weird. But if you're scaling something that's vaguely the right sort of... So if I get a little section of that, and if I go Command T, if I scale that down, it kind of will come down. Because I'm using pretty much the same elements all the way through it, it comes down and it looks really cool. Does that make sense? So it's a really good trick. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close. So I've now got, I've lost her. I should have copied her first. Oops. So Command Z. Right, I want her. So I'm going to firstly get Miss Old Sandra here. So we want her. So on that one, on that layer, Command J. So that one. So we've got her. All good. Now we want to get rid of what's behind it. So back to this layer. So this is really clever. So if you can get a section that doesn't change much the tone of it, that's what it's all about. So these pixels that I've grabbed here, they're not massively different. So as I stretch that down, it stretches down fine. So from this bit, I want this one, Command T, which is scale. And remember, it's not like Illustrator. You can't scale it. It's the opposite. You've got to hold Shift down. I don't know why. And she's going to come down. So that will come down to here. And double click to commit to that one. So now you've got her, so we'll get her to come on. So then all you're doing is you're breaking that up one. So you might get her as she does it. So just muck around. You can do it here. We might get that one to come up as it goes. Okay? So you might want to take the bottom off this, all sorts of things. But they're just little tips of how to get rid of things, okay? With this stuff at the top, this would be pretty easy at the top. If you wanted to come in one go, I would get all of this stuff. One mistake I make, I'll go Command J now, but it's not. You've got to be on this layer to do your thing. So Command J is just duplicate. So that's the title at the top. And then I want a selection of that title because I've got to get rid of what's behind it. Or I can just do my scaling trick. So I'm going to close that one off. Go back to the original one. Just grab a section of any of this. Go Command T. And just, every time. That one. And that'll my things will come onto that quite well. So there's that. If you wanted to come on one at a time, just get one of those on the title layer, Command J, and you can break them up to one at a time. Then they'll come to one at a time. That's up to you guys. other tricks. I did the other thing before with the cloning stamp. Where's our Star Wars one? Right, so this one, I'll just do these again just so you can sort of see again. Get rid of all those. Same again. This has got more into it. This is, you'll do this as well. So just copy it down. Oops, copy that one to the layer. Lock him off, turn him off. This was like, if you want to get, this is using clone stamps and stuff like that. So this one, if we wanted to get rid of, just do exactly what I did before. I know it's a bit, I did it before, but if we want to get rid of him in the middle, I'm going to use this tool. You can use, it doesn't have to be amazing because there's so much going on with this image. It'll kind of look, so we just want him. Okay, remember there's the pre-mask mask thing. So this guy here, that makes it all red. That's a good one to use. This is a good one, Dremel. All I did then, I've just done my drawing with the marquee tool, but instead of, but you can make a mask with this. That's what that does. That'll just mask it out straight away. So you know how to do a clipping mask, I'm assuming, but that's that. But in this one, I've made my selection, and I want to fix his foot up a bit. So this one at the bottom of this, it's like a pre-masking mask. I don't know, edit in quick mask mode. So if I click on that, and if I get a brush tool or a pen tool or anything, I might get the eraser tool. And if I rub that out, that's just going to rub out the red around there. So get it closer. That's just, so that where I'm getting closer to him using the red, when I flip it back, it's making my lines closer. And I know that I want to get rid of his foot. It doesn't have to be amazing, so get rid of that. And you can see, that's it. So if I go too far into his leg, all you've got to do is swip these colors around and you can rub that back out again. And that is X on the keyboard. So if I'm trying to do his foot and I go into his foot, hit X and that will swap those around and that will rub it out. Okay, so I'm going to go through in X, get that as close as I can. This is just, it's just like digital design. It's really just quick kind of, just a bit of quick Photoshop. All good, that's close enough. So turn that back on again. That's got my little ants that I want. So I want him on his own layer. So that's Command J. I've got him on his own layer ready to go. So type old Luke in there. Just really get in the habit of naming layers as you make them. So I want to get rid of him on this layer. So instead of doing all that, I want to get a mask around him so I can delete him. But instead of drawing all that again, this is a really good trick. If you hold Command down, and you can even see, it's a bit hard to, I think you can see, if I hold over that mask, it just goes to the hand that says, hey, but if I click on the command, you can sort of see on my thing, there's a little dotted line underneath the hand, but that's going to say, hey, Gav, make a selection of everything that's on that layer. Okay, so I've made a selection of everything that's on that layer. I'm on this layer, and I want to use my clones, to get rid of it. The first thing I do is just go Edit, Fill, and I go Content. This is where you've got foreground color. Like if I wanted to fill that orange, I would load orange into that. I would say Edit, Fill, Foreground Color, and I hit OK, and it would load orange. So that's how you load specific colors. So if I can load a color into here, like this blue, and go Edit, Fill, Foreground Color, it will go blue. That's how you fill something. There's all different ways to do things, but that's a way to do it. Or Command Delete is Fill Background Color. Option Delete is Fill Foreground Color. They're really good ones to know. But we don't want to do that. We want to go Edit, Edit, Fill, Content Aware. And this is one of these dodgy Adobe things, and it kind of works amazingly sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't work at all. But this one, I think it will, because so Content Aware just means it looks what's around it and it kind of fills it in. So I just go OK, and that's done that. And you can see I've got 50 Chewbaccas there because it's just kind of weirded out a bit. That's all right. So I'm now going to use the clone stamp. If anyone hasn't used this, it is, where are you, clone stamp? It's here. But you can, there's a patch tool, there's all sorts of ways. I just like the clone stamp. This one, so the clone stamp's important. So the clone stamp, you can see I've got a circle there, an option on your keyboard on a Mac. If I clone that bit of blue, if I hit Option click and put it here, I can't move my mouse, but in the where I first clicked it, there's a little plus. So see where that plus is? Wherever the plus is, it's copying. I can't point because it's done because you can't see, but it's going to copy across. I've got to keep an eye on where that plus is going, and it's. But if I go up here and if I go that way, it's going to start to get the spaceship. So you've got to be careful what you clone and what you don't. So his head's been done twice. I see this guy's head. It's come up to here. So what I might do is here, come from over here. So I'm going to option. I might click from here and go up to here. And you can see my cross. So I'm just filling that in. This one, option, this one. And there'll be people in the classroom that'll go, oh, you can, there's a better way, better way. I don't teach Photoshop because there's too many ways to do things and it's too difficult. I love using it, but it's just a tricky one to do. But there's always a better way to do something. So if you've got a better way, that's fine. This is just the one I like. So that looks all right. So that's good. So if I turn him on, that'll be fine. Because so by the time this is here, so you're going to, this originally is going to be like that. So that'll be your poster. It looks a bit sketchy, but you're not expecting it to be anything. So he'll just come on really well. Same sort of other good things to know. I want to do a marquee of a circle. This one, if I hold shift down, it'll draw a perfect circle. And the same as Illustrator. While I'm holding shift down, if I hold space bar, I can move the circle. So that one, so I've got that one. This layer, Command J, name it in there. And I want a selection of that one. So if I hit Command and click on that one, it's made a selection of that one. Turn that one off. On this one, edit, fill, content aware, okay, and that's perfect. So sometimes it absolutely works, but it's got a bit of a weird ring around it. You can see the ring. We don't like that one. So this one, option, I want to just copy some stars into it. You can see what I'm doing there. So I'm going to use probably these stars. Option, click here. I'm going to get, this is some light, oh, even that'll do. So some of that there. And it's just really kind of simple kind of photo. These are just Photoshop things that I like. And that's, and then when you've got this thing, so you've got all your bits and pieces and they'll just come in and out. Magic Eraser is a big one. So on the logo, I think this was a good one to know. You've got the lasso tool. That's the one, oops. The most common one is that lasso. That's the one that you can draw freehand. So that's that one. This is all pretty straight lines, so, oops. If I want to do straight lines, I can do polygon lasso, which is a straight line. So if I go from there to there to there, I think if you hold option down, you can draw it. That's really clever. You can draw it and let go of option, and then it goes back to being a straight line again. So that's my marquee. That one, Command J, that's the logo. And get the selection of the logo. I did this before and the white was a bit iffy, so you might want to fix it up. But on this one, I just want to get rid of it. So I can either delete it back to white, and that's pretty good. That's it, people. That's it. So you've got all your bits and pieces. You can come and go. And yeah, I'll stop that now. But they're my main Photoshoppy things to do. Okay. So, but what you want to do is you just want to be stupidly clever. It's no good just making the logo appear and then it's like the Jaws one. A lot of people do the Jaws movie poster and it just doesn't work. So just make something. You can saw the other ones that we did. Really, there's some clever stuff you can do with the basic animation that we've got. I'm just going to stop recording that.